Here are 10 things you might not know in Watcher of Realms, and these can be kind of specific and interesting, so I would guess at least one or two of these 90 or 99% of you will not know. If you knew all 10, let me know in the comments. Let's get into it. How the heck are you? I am Fastidious. First thing, rage regen heroes can give allied heroes rage even if that target ally hero is ulting. You do not have to wait for the target ally to stop ulting. I was just streaming and someone didn't realize this. They said, why did you ult so early with Hollow? It wasn't early. As long as the ally you want to get rage is already ulting, you can have an allied rage regenerator like Hollow already start providing some more rage. So let me show you an example here. I'm using Amani because her ult comes up really fast. We're going to wait for Amani's ult and then also Hollow's. The key thing to know is the hero itself cannot provide themselves rage while they're ulting unless they have a special awakening or something like Leia's A3. But normally heroes are building rage when they get attacked or they do an attack. That cannot happen when you're ulting. However, these support heroes like Elowyn and Laurel and Hollow and Leia that are able to give rage, they can still do that to you as long as your rage bar is not full. So let's ult with Amani. Now we're going to start ulting with Hollow. The rage bar isn't full. She's ulting already. So Hollow's already lending rage for the next time around that Amani would want to ult. So you'll see, otherwise, when Amani finishes, she should have 0 rage. This bar should be empty. But obviously, as I'm proving here, that will not be the case. So let's wait a second. And boom, Amani has like 30 or 40% rage, about 35% rage already. So that's a key thing. That's going to help a lot with your strategy in this game and your timings, all the things like that, because that's kind of what this game all comes down to. Good placements, ult timing strategy, this, that, and the other. So that's your first thing you might not have known. The second thing, I get asked this maybe more than anything when it comes to specific stat questions. How much heal effect should I build on my heroes? How much rage regen percentage? Well, the specific amount, that depends on the content and the kind of hero and what you want to do, but the targets you might want to hit are pretty darn clear. So in this game, both rage regen percentage and heal effect have definitive soft caps at 100 or 100% for rage regen percentage, and then hard caps at 200 or 200% for rage regen percentage. So 200 heal effect, 200 rage regen percentage, and then the soft cap is 100 heal effect and 100 rage regen percentage. So what does soft cap mean? What does hard cap mean? Well, essentially, as you build these two specific stats in Watcher of Realms, they improve along a logarithmic curve. So I'm not trying to bring you back to math class, but essentially with a logarithmic curve, the slope starts and it's very high, and then it gets lower and lower. So you're increasing at quite a nice rate, but it's diminishing the amount you increase based on every additional input. So you can see up to a point, it's really good, and then we get something called diminishing marginal returns. So the soft cap is that break point where your returns really start to drop off. For heal effect, that's 100 healing effect. For rage regen percentage, that's 100%. And then here you can see it does slowly go on forever in the logarithmic curve. There is a hard stop and a maximum in Watcher of Realms when it comes to those two stats at 200. So when you hit 200% rage regen, that is the max. 201% is no different. 2,000,000% is no different. Same thing with heal effect. So ideally, you want to build your healers to 100 heal effect, and that is including the contribution from your Pantheon. So always take that into consideration. And the same thing with rage regen percentage. You don't always need 100% rage regen percentage. For a lot of stuff, you don't. However, never go above that is what I'm saying. And certainly for both of them, never go above 200. But quite frankly, you can always look to stop at around 100. 100 is going to be plenty. Next up, this is known by many, many people, but I'm sure some people will learn it here, and this is probably the most important thing someone could learn in this video. There are two sets in this game that are very actively bugged and have been bugged for over a year. So what are those sets? Those sets are Soulbound Arcana and Wisdom. So what does the Soulbound Arcana set do? After the ultimate is cast, damage increases by 10% permanently, stacking up to 5 times. So very logically, you would read this as, if we put this on my Uridan right now, and we built out the full set, so let me just throw some random stuff on. After Uridan casts his ultimate, every time he gets 1 stack of damage increase of 10%, and he can do that over 5 ultimates. So once he's cast 5 ultimates, he'll have 5 stacks and a 50% damage boost. That is not how this works. It does not need to be the specific hero wearing the Soulbound Arcana set to trigger these stacks. These stacks can be triggered by any deployed ally hero casting their ultimate. They don't need to be in range of anything, nothing like that. Every time any allied hero ults, they are going to provide a stack to every allied hero wearing Soulbound Arcana. So that could be those heroes themselves wearing the sets or any other random people. It could be your healer for all I care. It doesn't matter. So that's what makes Soulbound Arcana so strong and so nutty, so broken. So it seems like the kind of set that you need to build it up and build the strength over time, over a long battle. No, like within 30, 40 seconds into a battle, you can already have had 5 allies ult total, and that will give you max stacks. Similarly, with Wisdom, this reads, after using the ultimate skills, increases damage by 35% for 10 seconds. This will get triggered every time any ally ults, period. It doesn't just have to be the wearer. It does happen when the hero wearing the set ults, they'll get the boost, but if any other ally ults, they're also going to trigger this 35% damage increase for 10 seconds. This really is crazy. I'm sure a lot of people knew it, but I'm sure a lot of people also did not. So let me know if that was you. Next up, some heroes in this game do not need attack speed, and I think people miss that. It would surprise you the number of times I've been on a takeover and I have found a Dolores with a ton of attack speed. You'll see my Dolores here has 114 additional attack speed. All of that is incidental. None of that is by design. Do not intentionally build her with attack speed. It says it here on her basic attack, plain as day. Healing frequency will not be affected by attack speed. The only thing attack speed can affect on a healer is healing frequency. So this is saying it does not work. Whether she has 100 attack speed, no additional, or she has 1200, there is no difference. She will remain unaffected. There are a lot of cultists that have a similar thing. If we go over here, you'll see Virna. Very often I find Virna's built with a lot of attack speed. You can see this 129 is all coincidental, and it already is, to be honest, for my account, very low. I'd never build a DPS with only 129 additional attack speed, unless they don't require attack speed. And Virna, again, it says it plain as day. Attack speed bonuses do not affect basic attack. Here's another example, Zealous. You can see here, attack speed bonuses do not affect basic attack. I've got one funky thing. Here's an extra tip. This is actually something I had to learn. Zarus reads as one of those heroes. Basic attack is unaffected by attack speed bonus. However, I've tested out. The basic attack of Zarus is unaffected, but he doesn't really do basic attacks anyway. His summons, they are affected by attack speed. So Zarus reads like the kind of hero that doesn't need attack speed, but actually, he kind of does. You don't have to go crazy on it, but he will be affected, and his summons will attack faster if you build him himself with some extra attack speed. But yeah, there are key ones you're going to have to look out for in this game. The main ones, I'll say, are Virna and Dolores. Way too often am I seeing these heroes built with attack speed when they should not be. Let's talk about left side gear. So if you didn't know, left side gear has a limited pool of substats depending on if it is a weapon or a breastplate. So a weapon cannot get crit damage, a breastplate cannot get attack speed, and neither of them can get rage regen percentage. However, there are things that allow that to happen still. If a piece of gear is a variant piece, an ancient piece, or an exclusive piece, then those rules are gone and you can get whatever you want, with one exception that I will cover. But you'll see here on this weapon, this should not be allowed to get crit damage, but because it's ancient, that introduced the possibility, and I was lucky to get a piece that pre-rolled with attack bonus crit rate, and then what should be a hidden substat, an unobtainable substat, crit damage. Let me show you that here now. If we go to attack bonus, crit rate, and crit damage on weapons, you'll see the only candidates on my entire account will be either variant, ancient, or exclusive. Exclusive has no rules, actually, because there is one rule we'll cover on weapons specifically for ancients and variants, but exclusives have no rules. So you'll see I don't have any exclusives or variants that have that combination, but including this one, I have got 10 weapons. If we go to the breastplates now, you cannot get attack speed on a breastplate. However, you can if it's ancient, exclusive, or variant. So let's find a couple examples, right? We've got a bunch of ancients here. Here's an exclusive piece, another exclusive. Exclusives are not ancient or variant, but they do have no rules on the substats. Another exclusive, you can see plenty and plenty of examples, tons of exclusives, tons of ancients. there's one more rule I want to talk about. So when it comes to exclusives, they can have any combination. In theory, that is the same for ancients and variants. However, on weapons, it is impossible to get this combination of substats, perfect DPS substats, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, unless it is an exclusive. There might be some old legacy gear, so maybe people could find a couple examples, but for the past year and a half, it has been impossible until the introduction of exclusives. So unfortunately, I've never pulled a piece like this, but I promise you they exist, and this combination can only happen on an exclusive weapon. Up next, Wailing Skull. So Wailing Skull isn't just the best in slot in terms of DPS and performance for many of the fighters in this game, but additionally, it also gives extra BP. So Wailing Skull is not an exclusive artifact. It is a class-specific artifact for fighters. However, it is coded like an exclusive artifact. So what do I mean like that? In terms of BP contribution, exclusive artifacts give more BP than non-exclusive artifacts. So let me go to my Setrum and show you that now. Here is my Setrum in a plus 19 promo 3 exclusive artifact for him, the Oblivion Pendant. This is 3 promotion. You would think naturally if I put on a 5 promotion artifact, it would be better. However, no. If I put that on, actually my BP goes down 724. The breakpoint for when an exclusive becomes better than a normal, maxed out, non-exclusive, class-specific artifact is in between promotion 2 and promotion 3. So my Setrum exclusive is better, though only marginally. However, if this was maxed out and promotion 5, I can show you that with Volca right now. This is actually probably the best example. So my Volca currently is in a maxed out promo 5 Lunacy Visor. Here I have her exclusive maxed out. This is one of the few max exclusives on my entire account. In theory, it should be the same amount of BP. However, you get a bonus for it being her exclusive, and actually you get 2,271 more BP. Wailing Skull, for some reason, gives the same BP contribution. The only thing I can think of is because you have the summon that comes with it, that counts as additional stats. I don't really know how it's coded, but you see we went back down 2,271, and if we put on a Wailing Skull, which is not her exclusive, we will get a big old boost. And actually, it's exactly equal to an exclusive, 2,271. So for heroes that do not have exclusive artifacts and you want to max out their BP, like Uridin, definitely run them in a Wailing Skull if you have it. Or here you can see my Valkyra. These are 2 of my Guild War affiliation heroes. So really good tip there with the Wailing Skull. Next up on the topic of BP, you heard me mention Guild War affiliation heroes, and that is a key thing, right? Affiliating your heroes with the highest BP to your demon soldiers for your Guild War attacks. You also need battle power, or BP, as I keep calling it, for Tide. Outside of that, BP is completely and utterly meaningless. I cannot overstate that enough. So often people tell me, hey, I followed your guide and your BP was lower than mine, but I still failed. There must be a bug, or what am I doing wrong? BP doesn't mean anything. It can be a nice little check. You know, if your BP is close to the suggested BP, usually you can beat it. However, you can beat 221 with less than 300,000 BP. It really means nothing. It is just some kind of visual numerical cue to let you know the general strength of a hero, but it is meaningless. It will not contribute to your success in any way. It's just a reference number. So please don't get lost in it. The only thing it does truly matter for is Guild War's affiliation when it comes to your demon soldiers, and then absolutely in Tide it matters as well. Next up, we talked about Soulbound Arcana. Let's talk about the other best set in the game for DPS. That is going to be Infernal Roar. Let's get a full set here on Silas. If we click on Infernal Roar, you see it says basic attack damage plus 40%. So for some heroes, it's very obvious what counts as a basic attack. However, a lot of the weirdness in the game, they count certain things on certain heroes as basic attacks when they absolutely should not. So with Silas, it all makes sense. He does basic attacks with his basic, and then when he ults, he just increases his damage, and then he keeps doing his basic. So naturally, you would think, okay, Infernal Roar is going to boost all of his damage, and it does. However, there are some heroes in the game, let me go to the gallery, where they have moves that are clearly not basic attacks, but the game still counts them as basic attacks. So it takes a while to learn all of these. I'm still discovering some all the time. That's why it's so hard to make a master list of Infernal Roar heroes, because there's so much weirdness. But a good example to me is going to be Lust. So if we go to Lust over here, a big part of her kit is going to be a Sinful Lash. So for every 2 ultimates activated by faction allies of the Nightmare Council, including Lust herself, the hero will trigger a Sinful Lash. This is a big little burst of 300% damage. Pretty cool. Clearly not a basic attack, right? It needs to be triggered by her or other allies ulting. It has nothing to do with this basic attack over here. But no, it is a basic attack. This is coded as a basic attack, so Infernal Roar is a great set for Lust, because her ultimate, just like Silas, just revs up her basic attack. You can see it transforms her basic attacks, so everything still is coded as a basic attack. Her normal basic attack's her basic attack, but then the other extra damage in her kit, for some reason, still is coded as a basic attack. The weirdest example of all is Praetus. Praetus, yes, his basic attacks are basic attacks. You can see here with his ultimate, he kind of revs up basic attacks, so you can make a little, you can kind of understand the leap they're making there. However, the weirdest thing, if you go to his Lord's skill, you'll see Verdict of Truth 1, Verdict of Truth 2, Final Verdict. If you've ever used Praetus or seen someone use Praetus, you get that Praetus hammer button that appears by the ultimates in the quick cast. This counts as a basic attack. The damage from the lightning that shoots from the sky that has nothing to do with the rest of his kit, this is coded as a basic attack. It makes no sense, but you got to start learning things like this. So keep your eye out for it. Don't be afraid to experiment with your heroes. There are way too many heroes in this game that benefit from Infernal Roar. I mean, good for us, but there are way too many that benefit when you wouldn't think they should, or you would not expect them to get boosted by that. We've got 2 more for you, and these 2 are really good. I'm happy with these ones. I think some people won't know them. First up, we have our Unnamable heroes. So I'm lucky enough to finally have both of them. We got Ymmerit, and we've got Ajax, as some of you call him, Ajax, and these guys can be a part of any faction. Similarly, they can benefit from any single faction exclusive ring. So whatever bonus is given by a faction exclusive ring, they can wear any of them. So if I click this button while on Ajax, only this hero's exclusive gear, you can see every single faction exclusive ring I have, doesn't matter the faction, shows up as an option, because all of them will be able to be worn by an Unnamable, whether that be Ajax or Ymmerit, and they will get the bonus, whatever this final exclusive bonus is. However, a lot of people say, oh, amazing, so I can get them in multiple different faction-exclusive pieces of gear, and they'll get all those bonuses. In theory, it could be possible, but no, because as it stands now, faction-exclusive bonuses only exist on rings, and you can obviously only wear one ring at a time. Ajax does have a hero-exclusive bangle, so you could have Ajax's exclusive bangle, like this, and then a faction exclusive ring. But when it comes to faction exclusives, they can only be rings. Any of them can be worn and give the bonus to Ajax and Ymmerit, but obviously you can only choose one since you only have one slot for rings. Finally, a crazy one that actually took me months of playing the game before I learned, and probably blew my mind more than anything in the game, because it is not written anywhere. This is all about Elowyn, and Elowyn's Wood Elf. So if you don't know, Elowyn from this passive over here, Elf of the Forest, has the ability to summon a Wood Elf. It will appear next to your other deployable units, and you can put her down, put the elf down on any melee tile, and it provides healing. The Wood Elf costs 5. However, strangely enough, and it does not say this anywhere in the kit, the Wood Elf makes Elowyn a cost generator. So why is that? Well, the Wood Elf, as I said, costs 5 to deploy. When you retreat the Wood Elf, or you pick it up before it expires, as I'm going to show you right now, you get back 8. So you get a net cost generation of 3. This is not listed anywhere. This is not explained anywhere. So this truly is like, kind of an off-menu tip. But let's wait till she has that Wood Elf come up. We're going to have to wait a moment. Let's throw it on 2x. But you'll see, keep an eye on the cost. When I deploy the Wood Elf, our cost will go down by 5. I'll instantly pick it up, and our cost will go up by 8. So here we are. Let's wait till we're at 167. 167. Let's place the Wood Elf. Now we're at 162. Let's pick it up, and we're going to go to 170. Boom, and 171 as we turn the corner. So to place it is 5. To pick it up is 8. You get a net cost generation of 3. The Wood Elf stays out there for 10 seconds, so you can leave the Wood Elf out there for 8 or 9 or 9.5 seconds, get the full benefit or nearly the full benefit of all the healing, then pick it up and also get that amazing cost generation benefit. There you have it, guys. 10 things you might not know about the weirdnesses, the intricacies, the strange bugs of Watcher of Realms. Let me know which ones you knew and didn't know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I've been Fastidious. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.